And I'm gonna see if that's a possibility or not, because that would be a kind of a cool feature. Not to have it like that always, but to have like a toggle maybe,
Yeah.
like a toggle for spectators.
For spectators, and usually the stream delay is enough to where it won't spoil anything, so hopefully that'd be the case. But either way, going into game one here, Zeloxory actually on his main, Ember, against Picklesaur's Hattori, and I think Picklesaur is a Hattori main, so he's opening up with a nice nair, gets a sidelight as well. Zeloxory fighting unarmed instead of picking up a weapon, gets hit by a Sarah once again, picks up the guitars, but finds that sidelight. Oh, excellent patience on that neutral light as well, waiting for that dodge and trying to get a follow-up. Nice downer, 2 downers hitting. Zeloxory finding a little bit more here, but Picklesaur tossing that spear away in the wrong way, gets neutral light into recovery, and that side stick from Zeloxory nearly hits.
Yeah, Zeloxory is doing a really good job at punishing Picklesaur's approaches. Picklesaur is unable to come in at the right angle to where he can get the damage off that he needs. I mean, both players are relatively even as far as health, though, but Picklesaur is finding himself in a bit of a deficit until he landed that neutral sig, and that's going to send Zeloxory on the side of the map. It looks like Zeloxory is not going to be able to make it back. Picklesaur, with the beautiful edge guard, is gonna take the first stock. He's got a stock advantage, and he's actually looking really good. He started off a little weak, but he managed to pick up the momentum there and absolutely devastate Zeloxory.
And that edge guard was so great, specifically because it's shipwreck, right? That wouldn't have worked anywhere else. The ledges on this map are so small that Zeloxory had no choice to fall to his death. The ground pound just confirmed it in case the dodge would allow him to get close enough. But either way, great ledge guard from Pickle, and now Pickle's got a stock lead over Zelo. Zelo trying to get this kill with a recovery, does not connect, and Pickle makes it back, gets a nice weapon toss in the neutral. Like, oh, that chase dodge D-Light, that was such a great startup, but he messes up the follow-up, but it was amazing. Ground pound comes in too. Zelo's in the orange here.
Yeah, Zeloxory is finding himself getting absolutely abused by Picklesaur. I think that initial momentum switch tilted him a little bit, but it looks like he's starting to come back from that. I think we're going to see a bit of a change in Zeloxory's approach here, and hopefully he'll be able to even up the damage a bit.
Nice weapon toss is coming out from Pickle, though. I love it. He does something that I think is very common with a lot of Diamond Plus players now, right? Is when you're above your opponent, landing's kind of hard, so throw your weapon down, and if it hits, get that follow-up. And that down stick hitting in the ground pound, Zeloxory tries to dodge through, and Pickle just reads that dodge. Weapon, oh my gosh, the sword comboed into the spear.
I mean, that's something you're going to notice from a lot of top tier players is in the lower ranks you'll see a lot of people use horizontal weapon throws and stuff like that. That puts you in a position to lose your weapon. However, vertical weapon throws up and down, you usually can recover your weapon back, so it's generally a safe option.
And now Pickle picking up the spear, gets hit by the neutral light recovery, but it still doesn't kill. Zeloxory going for the Sair, dodges out of the way of that spear recovery, and now looking for a weapon toss? Yes, he does, but Zelo is patient to dodge through it. He's not dodging in place, because if you dodge in place against a weapon throw, yes, you avoid the weapon damage, but if they fall with a Nair or a neutral light, it's going to kill, and that side stick evens things up. Zeloxory not nearly as behind as he was on that 2-to-1 stock deficit, and now has the opportunity to put some more damage on the Pickle. But Pickle finding that down air, looking for sidelights too, keeps trying to kick his opponent in the face instead of going for a weapon first to put him off guard, and now Pickle putting out some nairs, goes for that weapon toss, startup, sidelights and hit. Zeloxory finds us 2 sidelights to the ground pound. Dare!
We're getting that gimp. We're getting that gimp, baby. We're getting that gimp. Zeloxory taking the match, turning it around, shifting the momentum, and taking game 1 over Picklesaur.
And that is that guitar comeback potential we just saw from Spirit Wolf, and we see it from Zeloxory as well. But, I mean, Picklesaur didn't have the biggest lead, but he was in the lead there, so having him be able to get the guitar gimp in that fashion, which also was only possible because it was Shipwreck, was able to take game 1, and all that work that Picklesaur put in with those weapon throws just did not work out.
I also want to note that Picklesaur's dodge was up. If he was unable to dodge the combo starter there, and the aggression was just so much that he couldn't get his dodge out in time to avoid any of those hits. But I did notice that his dodge was up as he tried to dodge back to the stage as he was falling down. Game 2, Mammoth Fortress. Zeloxory is finding himself getting hit by these neutral lights, but he does have the bow in hand, and he's looking to find some strings.
I really, even though it didn't hit, I really like that ground pound read that came up from Pickle, because Zeloxory likes to go for like the bow as a weapon, right? Side light, down light, puts your hit box, your hurt box forward because it moves your character with the weapon. And Pickle went for that ground pound read to be able to put himself in that position, and Zelo didn't put the weapon, he didn't put the hitbox out, and said dodge backwards in response to it. But Pickle behind a little bit, Goes for that down sig. Zeloxory finds the Nair, however, and goes for that side sig KO. Pickle dodges above it with the signature himself and picks up the spear, but he's significantly behind this game. Pickle looking for that Sair. Zeloxory holding on the Kataras and is trying to go in for a kill, but that end sig reads it. Double end sig!
Double end sig.
Whoa!
He uses the neutral signature to position himself, and then he reverses that and gravy cancels another neutral sig, and that's going to secure a stock lead for Pickle. But Pickle running into that side sig from Zeloxory, both players are now even with fresh 2 stocks. Zeloxory's got the bow in hand. He drops that down light combo and is leaving himself in a position to get punished.
Still, though, that double end sig was so great because he was in kill percent, Zeloxory in orange, and it only KO'd because of where Zeloxory was on the map, right? If he wasn't in that point in the sky, that end sig would not have killed from the ground. So Pickle made a very clutch comeback there. Now finding a sidelight, Sair is trying to go for a little bit more damage here and be able to extend this lead. He puts in another sidelight. Sair follow-up just doesn't work out, but another Sair will hit Zeloxory as he goes for a weapon toss, and that rests from the spear ground pound does not connect, and Zelo finding a sidelight goes in, dodges away from the spear, and now Pickle picks up the sword, gets hit by a Sair. Zeloxory looking for the KO here. Pickled in kill percent, but he's got that end sig KO potential still.
Absolutely. That double neutral sig is it's a very common thing you will see from high level Hattori players. I haven't really seen it in tournament too much though. That was really cool.
Goes for that bow gimp really early on, but Pickle manages to recover. Fighting against bow off stage is so hard for every weapon in the game. Bows off stage is one of the best things in the game currently, in my opinion. Putting that side stick out there. Zeloxory tosses that weapon forward, has Pickled in the orange now. Picklesaur is trying
He's
to
trying
go for
to
weapon
close the
toss.
gap here.
And he does!
Absolutely. Pickle able to close the gap, lands that beautiful neutral signature. That was crucial. He really needed that. He now needs to avoid taking damage and try and punish these Katara approaches to get some bread and butter combos out.
Zeloxory now putting out that down light, avoids the Sair, dodges diagonally behind Pickled so his end light doesn't hit, and then Nair comes out, puts him in the orange, he has to dodge out of the way of that weapon, and his side sig nearly catches that landing. Pickled dodges out of the way, picks up the spear, tries to go for a D-light, but Zeloxory's neutral light's just a little bit faster, and he gets that recovery as well. Pickled so close to death. Zeloxory can find kills with a lot of moves right now, and he's looking for Sairs and side lights, has the spike ball. This could be bad. Picked's finding damage, and he has 3 defense. 2 D-light Sairs?
Zeloxory has put himself at a disadvantage without a weapon here, and Pickled is making sure that he can deny. Ooh! That spike ball did hit. That was crazy. Yeah, Pickled's making sure that he can deny Zeloxory of these weapons and zone him on the side of the map like he is right now, and he baits him for that down sig. That's going to send Zeloxory into kill percent. It's not looking good.
This is looking so bad. Zeloxory just went basically from like white to red here, and that's Sair nearly KOing. He goes for the weapon toss. Zelo still has his dodge, but he gets a D-line Sair. That's it.
No! The bread and butter from Pickle. That's gonna take game 2.
What happened that game?
What happened was Zeloxory made a weapon toss that ended up putting him at a disadvantage, and Pickle, taking advantage of that, guarded the weapon spawns and positioned and zoned Zeloxory on the side of the map where he could just continuously punish him. And that was a beautiful, beautiful play coming out from Pickle. The set is now tied up 1-1. We're going into game 3 on Blackguard.
Not to mention, Pickle had some of the best patience in a ledge guard scenario that I've seen from any Hattori player. And that's like, we'll see players who are looking for that easy KO unsafely ground pound almost all the time. And Pickle didn't go for that once. He tossed weapons off, but he just waited for Zeloxory to use up all of his resources, and Pickle was able just to be able to get that kill. And now Zeloxory, I think he's giving up the taunt to say that he's lagging. So we're
they're definitely taking a break here real quick. Pickle doesn't understand what's going on, but I think he does now. I really hope he's going to be a nice man, a good egg. He's going to wait.
Okay.
The game...
And now we're going
started.
All right, so that's nice. I love being able to see that because you can't. I don't think the chat. I think the chat box, even in custom levels, it's not open in game. So the only way they can really communicate is through taunts. So Zeloxory giving off that taunt long enough made Pickle realize, all right, he could either be severely BM or having internet connection issues, and it was the latter. And he was able to give him that so he can fix that. Maybe he dropped his keyboard on the ground. I don't know.
I heard that EU servers have been a little wonky today for some people, so he might have been having a little bit of a connection issue there. But we are back into the game. Both players are trading evenly, but Zeloxory, having that bow in hand, has got Pickled on the side of the map, but he charges that end stick just a little too long, and Pickled manages to space around it and find an opening.
So Picklesaur now with the sword. Ooh, I like that weapon toss, but just went barely over Zeloxory's head. But Zelo trying to go for that recovery is against Pickled Spear, and I don't want to see damage as a deficit anymore. That, oh my gosh, that down sig connecting.
Nice.
Zeloxory killing him off the top of the map with a bow down sig.
He saw that Pickle was starting to get overly aggressive, counted on him moving in and aggressing him, and he read him with that down sig.
Oh.
But Pickle does it the same way with a gravy cancel down sig. So you're seeing both players with these hard reads here, these hard signature hits. Stocks are even, but Zeloxory at a weapon disadvantage, and we've seen what can happen to him during that last match.
A double D-Light Sarah coming up from Pickled here, and Zeloxory putting on some nairs is trying to put on a little bit more damage, but Pickled's able to find those bread and butter combos to be able to put a lot of damage on. There's another D-Light Sarah. Pickle not going for the recovery, but the down sig actually catches Zeloxory from behind him and calling in the horn. Goes for that disco follow-up. That's a little weird.
But what he was banking on Zeloxory aggressing, and so he threw out that disco hoping that he'd run into it. Stocks are even. Zeloxory at a damage deficit. However, he does have his favorite weapon in hand, the bow, and you can see that he's a very strong bow player, playing very patiently, waiting for Pickle to make a mistake that he can punish, and he does that right there with that neutral air. Goes for another down sig read, but that does not connect. Pickle, unable to find any openings here, is just kind of throwing out moves. The weapon toss did manage to land. I think he should be using these weapon tosses to find an entry onto Zeloxory, but we'll just have to see. He tries it right there. Zeloxory does manage to dodge through the side air, but not the ground pound, and that's going to put him in a position to get edge guarded here. Let's see if Pickle can finish this off. He's unable to. Zeloxory does recover with a neutral air, but that gravity cancel neutral sig from Pickled is going to take a stock lead. He is in kill percent, but if he can hold on to this stock long enough, he can rack up the damage he needs to secure this win.
Nair comes out from Zeloxory. He's trying to get that KO off the top, but it doesn't work out yet. Pickled's got the opportunity to put more damage on, but honestly, I don't see these stock differences as a lead here until he starts getting a lot of damage here, and that sidelight comes out, has so much force. Zelo looking for the KO, waits him out, and that's Sarah. Beautifully patient from Zeloxory. Doesn't put out any recoveries, no nairs, no nothing. He waits for Pickle to get to the point where he can find that Sarah, and that fast hitbox KOs Pickled there, and he gets the lead a little bit with a nice neutral air.
Yeah, I mean, that is the best decision you can do when you're at a deficit. A lot of people, when they get put out a deficit, they kind of think like, oh, you know, I need to get out a ton of damage, I really need to do this or I need to do that. The best thing to do is just pay patiently and wait for an opening, wait for an opportunity to punish, and don't put yourself in a position to get punished. But you know, stocks are even. Pickled is at a slight damage deficit, but he's starting to do a little bit of work with this spear here. He's landing single hits here and there, but he does get punished for that side air, and Zeloxory's got him zoned right where he wants him.
Oh, that weapon
Lands the
toss.
neutral air. Pickle find himself up high on the top of the map, using that movement speed to avoid these Sairs and Nairs. But he's finding himself weaponless. He needs something soon. He does manage to grab the sword. Will he be able to find an opening?
Sidelight comes in, but yeah, Pickled is doing a great job of reacting to signatures there. Like, there was a moment where that side stick from Zeloxory on the bow looked like it was going to KO, but if he didn't toss that spear, it would. But he did, and he was able to keep himself alive a little bit longer, but Zeloxory's still finding all these neutral attacks coming out. And now Pickled, looking at the mine, tosses that onto the ground. That's an opportunity for comeback. If Pickled finds a sidelight, oh no! What? He just explodes!
Oh no. Oh no.
It's gonna happen again. Pickled's got him unarmed. He gets the down sig.
No.
He goes for that GCN sig fall. Weapon toss forces the dodge. Pickled calls in the horn, picks up a weapon. Zeloxory finds the guitars but gets hit by a Sarah. Will Pickled have the same situation from game 2 coming out here? Zeloxory, when he's on the ledge, what?
Yup.
He just jumped into a fully charged down sig.